So what the hell have you been doing here?
The Mitsubishi needed painting.
This looks like
It is.
Literally.
This is a heavy-duty, heavy equipment, extra rusty, as they called it, Rust-Oleum primer. This is used on big-ass equipment to stop the rust from progressing. And what's kind of funny about this car is that actually it's only the tops that are steel. The rest is plastic. Well, of course it'll be steel underneath this. It's funny, the GM like the Grand Ams back in the late 90s or whatever, and with all their trim that they would put on there, same thing with Bonnevilles and all that, the water gets behind them and it rusts out really bad. Whereas these cars, the edges of the doors are pretty good. And the cool part is that I have a gun now that I remembered that will work better for the jams than using the spray cans. Now the thing is that most automotive paint will easily cost you $100 or more just for the regular automotive primer. And then you gotta have hardener, and then you gotta have the thinner. So it'll come in probably at around $150, $160 just to prime the car. We get this for $30 a gallon. And then we're able to thin it with the acetone at $13 a gallon, so we can coat the car with only half. Actually, we can do 2 cars for $60. So that's pretty awesome. The black is a enamel, just regular Rust-Oleum enamel. And you can get that for like $30 a gallon too. And it also comes in red, so that can be done next time. We can do a red car or a black car.
So that was gloss black. That's the color that this is going to ultimately be when you're done?
Yes.
That is a really decent interior.
Considering how old it is, with 200-some thousand, there's very little damage on it. The shift boot, and then we gotta figure out a way to trim out the radio area.
Is it possible that you're missing the actual dash piece?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's gone, yeah.
So either you're going to have to figure out some way to custom build something or get a hold of the actual piece.
One of the two. The ignition switch with the key only worked intermittently, so when you put the key in, it won't turn. We were able to get the cylinder out of the housing and all that, lubed it, and it ends up that the alignment of these little pins that are inside the cylinder cannot line up correctly. It will work by tapping on it with a hammer, then it'll finally align perfectly and it'll turn. So we're going to replace the steering column itself.
And that will include a new ignition?
Yes.
Okay.
But the car will have 2 keys, one for ignition, one for the lock.
Yeah, and we've seen that on vehicles before. It's not all that uncommon.
Right. And then that way we'll have the correct Mitsubishi airbag, hopefully too, instead of the stealth one that we have. This stuff deteriorates pretty quickly. And this wheel was in pretty good condition, so somebody changed it out so that it was in better shape. But it's the wrong generation. It needs to be one newer than that.
And you guys can see that the spoiler is currently not on the vehicle. It's been removed just for the purpose of painting. It's sitting back here, and one of the projects we're going to have to work on coming up here is pulling that out, getting it primed up and painted so it matches the rest of the vehicle.
On the 3000s, they actually have body color housings inside here for trim covers of the headlights. So this one is the same color as the body was, which is more of a pearl. What we need is a black version. Those would look much better.
It looks like there's clips that go all around, but normally they seal these with silicone.
Right, but these clips here likely can be replaced with just the headlight housing.
So effectively we were down 2 lug studs on this wheel right here, which technically you could drive on. I would not recommend it.
Especially with this heavy of a car.
Yeah, no kidding. But replaced the spindle, which comes with a full set of lugs.
Well, we definitely looked at that thing hardcore. We could not find a way to get the stud out without taking the spindle off. So we ended up getting a new or a different spindle altogether. Once you hammered them to a certain point, then it was held back by the spindle. There's no way to remove the stud. So we ended up just replacing the spindle with all the studs intact.
Most vehicles will have a slot where you can pound those things out.
Exactly.
For whatever reason, Mitsubishi in their infinite wisdom did not incorporate that design into this vehicle, which is unfortunate. It gave us really a hard time repairing this aspect of the vehicle.
If somebody though knows a better way to replace the studs on there without having to replace the spindle, definitely show us how. We looked online, no way to do it that we could tell. There's always geniuses out there that find the proper way. If it's clocked a certain way, there's probably just enough distance to wiggle them things out of there. But we did try. And then we defeated mechanically the high idle situation with the cable and the stop for the throttle body butterfly, and it is an electronic thing that's telling the computer is telling the motor to rev at 2,000 RPM when you start.
3.0 V6 dual overhead cam motor. For some reason it wants to rev up really high.
Freaking out about taking any of the sensors off of the damn motor because it likely won't start after that. These things are so finicky.
Just like that Dodge Stealth we got out back.
Yeah, you know it.
The only thing we know for sure is it'll be running and driving and it'll look pretty after we're done with it. Well, that's the latest on the 3000. We'll definitely keep you updated on any progress.